is an exhibition called Portraits of Persons Unknown, and this is a message from persons unknown, persons in hiding, persons unknown. Survival in silence ain't good enough no more, keeping your mouth shut, head in the sand. Terrorists and saboteurs, each and every one of us, hiding in shadows, persons unknown. Hey there, Mr. Average, you don't exist, you never did. Hiding in shadows, persons unknown. Habits of hiding soon will be the death of us, dying in secret from poisons unknown. This is a message to persons unknown, strangers and passers-by, persons unknown. Turning a blind eye, hope to go unrecognised, keeping your secrets, persons unknown. Housewives and prostitutes, plumbers in boiler suits, truants in coffee bars who think they're alone, big men on building sites, sick men in dressing gowns, agents in motor cars who never go home, women in factories, one-parent families, women in purdah, persons unknown, patients in corridors, persons unknown, statistics on balance sheets, numbered and rubber stamped, blind and invisible, you're lost in your home, liggers and layabouts, lovers on roundabouts, wake up in the morning to persons unknown, accountants in nylon sheets, feminists in floral skirts, nurses for when it hurts, persons unknown, astronauts and celibates, DJs and hypocrites, liars and lunatics, persons unknown, hopefuls on football pools, teachers in empty schools, kids into heroin, not yet full grown, typists and usherettes, black men who just can't forget, the lonely who long for, persons unknown, closet idealists, bald-headed realists, rastas and bikers, the voice on the phone, pimps and economists, royalty and communists, rioters and pacifists, persons unknown, visionaries with coloured hair, leather boys who just don't care, garter girls with time to spare, persons unknown, judges with prejudice, dissidents and anarchists, policemen deal dirty tricks to persons unknown, strikers and pickets, collectors of tickets, radical architects, the Queen on her throne, soldiers in uniforms, sailors and stevedores, beggars and bankers, persons unknown, football crowd hooligans, bunking off school again, workers down tools again, united at home, smokers with heart disease, cleaners of lavatories, the old with their memories, persons unknown. Flesh and blood is who we are. Flesh and blood are what we are. Flesh and blood is who we are. Flesh and blood is who we are. Flesh and blood are what we are. Flesh and blood is who we are. Our cover is blown. Enjoy the exhibition. Thanks a lot. with people asking for my autograph all the time. All you do, you know, you do a few bits of paintings. It's like Beatlemania all over again. Feel like a megastar, like Ken Dodd. Stressed out, man. Oh, you can't smoke in here, can you? Cameras everywhere. Everywhere, cameras. Bet there's even cameras in here. I just come in to read a book. I'm going to read it. Straining Out a Fat One. I went out the house one morning to do my weekly food shopping, only I'd miscalculated. I knew this, but I thought I'd chance it. As with a brisk walk, I thought I could make it to the supermarket toilet. Still, no matter how strong my determination or resolve, I just could not hold it in. I felt the copper's helmet sticking out, the turtle's head bobbing, touching the fabric of my underwear. So I climbed up a banking, and I got behind a tree, and I dropped my trousers, and I relieved myself. Only it would seem someone had spotted me whilst I was in the act of defecation. Yet although I was not wearing my glasses, I saw a blurred face hanging out of a speeding car, and its voice shouted out in an irate voice, "Next time, mate, go in the woods." Only I could not make it to the woods, as they were too far away. Anyhow, I wiped my arse on a dot leaf, pulled up my jeans, then walked on devoid of my burden. I told myself the man in the car didn't matter, as I hadn't seen him anyway, although evidently he'd seen me. But I thought, as I've never seen him anyway, and he'd seen me, it didn't matter. Still, arriving home loaded down with my shopping bags, I got to my front door, and Dave, the guy who lived next door, was waiting there to greet me. He had a supercilious smile plastered all across his face, and in a sarcastic tone, he just said, "I hope you've enjoyed your shit, lad." This is for Smiley. In reality, it was a nasty piece of work. His character was composed of elements at best more rotten than the ingredients in a bowl of soup given to a gulag prisoner. It was avarice personified, egotism incarnate. Still, it was gratefully received like a ray of sunshine that brightened up others' twee yet dull grey lives. And whilst he surreptitiously schemed to achieve the selfish veiled aims of his cloaked agenda, he used others until they were no longer of any use to him. Still, he told them exactly what they both wanted and needed to hear, and it pleased them. Oh, how it pleased them. But he smiled. Oh, how he smiled. And he still does. This is called a betrayal. I don't know if anybody's ever wanted to give the moon and stars to someone, but I once did. She asked me for the moon and stars, so ingeniously constructed an enormous ladder which reached up high into the sky, a gigantic ladder that reached higher than the Tower of Babel, a meticulously built ladder that both Fairy Tale Jack and Biblical Jacob would have been proud of, and I climbed it. Yet whilst I was at its zenith, slowly collecting for her a plethora of stars, just at the moment in time when I was reaching out to try to steal the moon, I heard the sound of a police car siren emanating from down below. So I looked down, only to discover that she'd made a reverse charge telephone call to the astronomer Patrick Moore, who in turn had informed the police of a theft in progress. After being asked to briskly climb down, I found, to my dismay, I was arrested and charged, then found guilty of robbery with intent to put out the night. Now alone in this prison cell, finally I've come to my senses, as I've just realised that no matter whatever I tried to do to try and please that woman, somehow for her it was never ever quite right. This is called Rebellion. With a smashed lip and a broken hand and an empty freezer, I poured stale milk onto a stale bowl of cornflakes at 3 a.m, drunk and covered in paint. If only I could have found the remote for the Binatone CD player someone had given me, I'd have played something rebellious to fan the flames of my discontent. Like, say, something by the public schooled diplomat's son, whose stage name was Joe Strummer, in order to stick 2 fingers up to the system. Only I couldn't find it. So, as the son of a coal miner and an ex-comprehensive school kid, I just wrote down this, my little riot of my own, in my living room. This is called Monsters. Like for all, sometimes the hours for me seem to last days, and one lies awake at night wrestling with the inner core of one's own mind, fighting a personal war, contemplating all that which has ran before, and all that which is yet to come, and sometimes just battling the empty feeling which rises up inside that you just can't explain. Then, having not slept, most get out of bed to the annoying sound of an alarm clock. They get up, get dressed, get washed, eat something or other, and then they put on their social suits. And if they have work, they head off to work. Then, during the course of the day, inevitably, someone will say, "How you doing?" And 99.9% will reply, "Yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine," or words to that effect, as this is social etiquette. And after all, no one wants to hear a negative answer, so I guess that it's best to never mention the monsters that eat away at each and all of us, second by second, minute by minute, of each and every day. This is called For the Angels. It's a rare thing, a very rare thing, for anyone to actually meet and speak to real people, as society requires all to wear masks in order to fit into the game. So most often, most people wear fake personas, which are so familiar and well constructed, even the person with them believes them to be real, as the game is all pervading and all consuming. However, occasionally I've spoken and met real people in odd places, such as on planes, boats, ferries, etc., and even at public bus stops. I call such people angels, as they just seem to flit in as if from nowhere. They stay for a while, then they fly away, which is all fine by me, as a waiting for one to arrive is well worth the wait amidst the regular zombies living their pretend lives. But then again, I guess the status quo must and always will be preserved. This is called betting on a loser. For all the trying, somehow, sometimes, you just can't win. And you know you're betting on a loser, but still, you just keep on, keeping on. In the vain hope that somehow something will improve, only mostly it never ever does. And to walk away to try something new or different would only leave a vacuum. Perhaps this is why so many people choose to remain in pointless jobs, relationships, situations, etc. that are going nowhere and can never go anywhere. This is called nothing new. The death of 100 million, all for an idea. The trade of 2 million sex trafficked women, all for a wank. And there are 10 times more slaves in this world today than there was at the height of the transatlantic slave trade, and ants get crushed under human feet, whilst pigs' heads hang on butchers' hooks in Moroccan streets. And people rob and rob and rob and steal and cheat each other. Meanwhile, I sit in a taxi cab someplace somewhere in Tunisia. The driver says to me, "That'll be 9 dinars, sir." I thank him, then I light the car. As the world burns, as it turns, as it always has, and it always will do. This is called A Place and a Time. I've been the inmate of 5 English jails when I should have been in none. I've been to Berlin, Barcelona, Paris, London, Istanbul, Venice, Capri, Bruges, Belfast, Prague, Tunis, Innsbruck, Luxor, Cannes, Rome, Monaco, Tallinn, Purek, Amsterdam, Dublin, Valletta, Nicosia, Rhodes, Krakow, Wrocław, etc., etc., etc. Also, I've been in places no man or woman should ever have been in, such as on a postgraduate course, which allegedly was the best of its kind outside of America, in one of the alleged best universities in Europe. Also, I've been left for dead twice. Still, whilst up a mountain in some place or other, a man said to me, "In this life there is a time and there's a place for everything, and one must try everything. And if they find that it don't suit them, then they should just leave it alone and move on to something new. Just like you watching this, because if you don't like it, go and look at something else." This little number is entitled "A Demon at My Cradle." All those rabid, snarling dogs that occasionally gnaw away inside your brain were present at both my conception and birth, and they even guarded my cradle. Then later on in life they followed me everywhere. So shut up moaning, stop complaining about your prissy, petty pain, and just throw them a bone, and perhaps then they might go away. However, for me, sadly, they are here to stay. They are omnipresent, and that is precisely why I'm reading this poem. Why, naturally, like a little girl